Well, as you can see, we're doing Biden's SOTU speech. We're really not looking for much. We already know that this is the beginning of Venezuela. You know, because every time they do it wrong, and this time it's going to be right. And let's just cross our fingers that Arizona figures it out.
He is going to use this primetime address with all of you watching to try and sell his plan to spend trillions of dollars more on child care.
Well, as you saw, McCarthy just walks through, and you can see the drag in him. He's still very interactive with the other side, but he is kind of dragging, which really doesn't say much. He could be tired.
There's about 6 seats separating each of the lawmakers who are there in the House chamber. You don't see the guests.
Well, as you can see, Schumer comes through. It's victory. They have won. Yay! Throw my arms up in the air. Yay, we made it. Don't gouge your eyes out or your ears out yet.
Rescue plan, almost $2 trillion. That's why many people, 85% of households, got that $1,400 check in the mail. Now they're talking about the recovery part, trillions more infrastructure, not only the infrastructure for roads, but what they're calling human infrastructure.
Right, and that has to do with everything from childcare to free community college to universal pre-K, a $2 trillion plan that the president is going to explain tonight that he's calling the American Families Plan. It's really a partner with a plan he released a couple of weeks ago that was also $2 trillion focused on infrastructure.
So here you see Pelosi. She's making the same kind of small talk like she did with Pence and the intern or whatever he is on the side. Same small talk. So we can see that continues. Still a nervous Nancy.
And he is going to make the case to the American public that this spending is going to lead to jobs. It's going to revive the economy. It's going to set us up for the next 20 or 30 years. It's going to call it a generational.
But in this instance, we see Harris giving back to the small talk. Whereas Pence was being polite, Harris is encouraging the small talk.
The D.C. National Guard and brought in after those January 6th attacks in order to provide a sense of security, to take a look at the way they provide security up on Capitol Hill. Let's bring in CBS's Nicole Killian, our Capitol Hill correspondent. Good evening, Nicole.
Hey, good evening to you, Nora. And as you all have pointed out, I mean, what a difference a year makes going into this pandemic and seeing these types of visuals where there is a limited audience.
So now he's talking to Roberts, the liberal. I believe he is the only Supreme Court justice that is there.
Seeing these types of visuals where there is a limited audience.
They don't really zoom in on Roberts this time, but he's much more relaxed. Remember when he was in there with Trump and he's scooting around, he's looking around, it's like he's waiting to be attacked. No, he's relaxed. He's shaking Biden's hand. He's talking to him. His body's looser. He doesn't have that fright complex going through him.
It's only 200 people, more or less, are allowed. They had to.
You got the victory hug from Bernie.
To take a COVID test or show proof of vaccine.
And a polite but a brush off of Kelly looks at him and then does the salute thing to him and then immediately doesn't look at him anymore, scanning for someone else. Really, a true brush off. And I believe he is the only one there from the armed forces.
Members of the United States Congress and the Cabinet, distinguished guests, my fellow Americans, this gathering.
Now that cut, and I have no idea why. We kind of see stops and cuts throughout this thing, and all I can think of is that it gave them time to maybe cut out the that he does. Because remarkably, he didn't do any of that, at least that we got to see. Now, I am definitely not going to make you sit and watch this insanity. But we will watch some of the things that says how it's going.
Throughout our history, presidents have come to this chamber to speak to Congress, to the nation, and to the world, to declare war, to celebrate peace, to announce new plans and possibilities. Tonight, I come to talk about crisis and opportunity, about rebuilding the nation, revitalizing our democracy, and winning the future for America.
Actually, I'm actually starting to notice something as he speaks, and this has gotten worse since we've really started watching him. And you'll notice, and you can try this at home, take your upper lip and kind of deaden it to where it doesn't move. And then your lower lip, don't move it as much. And you get kind of like what he's getting. And the tongue is trying to compensate for whatever is going on neurologically. And you'll hear it. And you'll hear those kind of noises come out. Oh, oh. It's more like, oh. You hear those noises come through. Not a whole lot of mouth movement. I have no idea which ailment this could be, because it could be a slew of things. But it's just something I'm noticing that he's doing.
I stand here tonight, one day shy of the 100th day of my administration. 100 days since I took the oath of office and lifted my hand off our family Bible and inherited a nation, we all did, that was in crisis. The worst pandemic in a century.
And you notice as he speaks, his lips aren't actually coming together, which is adding to that. And I have no idea what that is. But it says there's something wrong with you. You're producing sounds that aren't normal. And that's what I mean by he's not that far gone, because it's not like in your face, oh, but you're starting to hear some of that noise come through of whether it's paralysis or some neurological issues. I have no idea.
The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression.
That's that noise. Actually, just an FYI, Pelosi has that same kind of movement. Hers is obviously worse, and she plays with her teeth.
The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. Now, after just 100 days, I can report to the nation, America is on the move again.
And as we see from the crowd view, we see a lot of standing from the Democrat side, and the Republicans are all sitting. And then they get up. It's called peer pressure. And what you just saw, if we had seen who it was, I'm sure somebody will figure it out. They're the ones that can bow to peer pressure very easily.
Cut child poverty in America in half this year.
It looks like we got McCarthy having a standing ovation for that one. McConnell is not, but without a real good zoom in, he looks, and speaking on McConnell, quite relaxed.
I also told President Xi that we'll maintain a strong military presence in the Indo-Pacific, just as we do for NATO and Europe. Not to start a conflict, but to prevent one.
So we watched that little snippet. He just pretty much repeated Trump's policy. And General Kelly over here is giving his head nod in agreement, even though he's not supposed to. But he's not clapping his hands.
Overstaying visas. Pass it. We can actually, if you actually want to solve a problem, I've sent a bill to take a close look at it.
Cruz is so excited about what's going on, he can't even stay awake.
We also have to get at the root problem of why people are fleeing.
Go right back to sleep, buddy. It ain't over yet.
I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Fero. Fero is one of the few cryptocurrency projects that I respect. Unlike most other cryptocurrencies, Fero is focused on safeguarding your financial privacy without compromising on trustlessness, which means no third parties are required, and transactions are private by default. Fero also has an exciting roadmap to look forward to. Features such as Instant Send, where payments can both be sent and confirmed within seconds. There's also Elysium, which adds tokenization functionality similar to Ethereum, but it also enables these assets to enjoy Fero's privacy technology. There's many more things on the roadmap, and if you'd like to learn more, head over to fero.org. If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers, where Mandy teaches more about her techniques of deception detection. There's also other content such as the Crime series and Interesting Minds series, available to both Gold and Silver subscribers.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.